Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States and welcome back to our kitchen once again. It is the long holiday weekend associated with Thanksgiving here in the United States, and we decided it would be nice to do another episode while we have some time from our kitchen. Even though the weather has been quite pleasant outside, I didn't feel like going out into Black Friday traffic with the massive insanity around sales and things at the retailers. Wanted to stay home, but we wanted to do some filming, so we thought this would be nice, and we wanted to share with you a culinary treat which is uniquely American. It isn't often that we can bring you something that is American cuisine, but this time, this, I understand, is uniquely American, is where it started. So what we're doing today is we're going to make a bean pie, which sounds dreadful, I understand. But for those of you who've been with us a long time, you'll remember that it is not dreadful. It is, in fact, delicious. And I will show you that. There'll be a link to that at the end of this video to the episode that we did 2.5 years ago when Beverly and I tried chitlins for the first time and also hog maw. Well, at that same time, when we were up at Lexington Market in Baltimore, we bought a little pie that was a bean pie, and we just thought that sounded fascinating. It turned out to be delicious. And at the time, you'll see if you watch that video after this one, you'll see that Beverly said, oh, we have to learn how to make this. Well, 2.5 years went by and we never quite got around to it, but now we have. So I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully it turns out as well as the one we bought. It is basically a custard pie with white beans in it. Now, those could be navy beans. That's what we've chosen to use here, is navy beans. You can also use pea beans or any sort of white bean. I suppose you could use pinto beans as far as that goes. I mean, you know, there's no rules here. Sorry, I'm having some trouble keeping my hair in place today, folks. But that's all right. It's a holiday weekend and we're having some fun. So anyway, basically a custard pie with beans in it. Now, we're going to share with you the recipe that we got online. I'll give you the link directly to them for the recipe, which actually calls for a food processor. But if you go out to YouTube and you look up bean pie, you're going to see that almost everybody uses a liquidizer. Or in fact, some people use the Ninja bullet that I use for making smoothies. It's like an upside down kind of a liquidizer thing where the thing screws on top. But anyway, I use that for making smoothies. I've seen it done with that. We're going to use the liquidizer because I want to make sure my beans are pureed, very, very smooth. I don't want any big chunks of beans in, but I thought, well, not that there's anything intrinsically wrong with that. It's just not what I want. So the only exception that we're using in the recipe that I said I'll link down below, and I'll include the list of ingredients down below as well, is that we're using a liquidizer, a blender, whatever you choose to call it. So 2 cans of beans, 15-ounce cans of beans, drained, strained, rinsed, and then put in the blender without spilling them all over the world while you're on camera, because then you look like an idiot, and that ain't no fun at all. So, all right, I haven't lost too many so far here. See, that's the real fun, is watching to see if I'm going to do something stupid. It's just the same reason people go watch, races like NASCAR and stuff. They want to see a crash. Well, that's what people are coming here for. They want to see if I'm going to crash and burn, so. Now I'm worried that my blender is not going to be big enough, but I only lost a few beans here. So, 1 full 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Oh, this is getting scary. Half a cup of melted butter. Maybe that's why they use the food processor, was just sheer volume. I don't know. We've got some vanilla extract. We have 2 whole eggs and 2 egg, just the yolks, 2 egg yolks. So Beverly was setting this all up for me, and when she got it done, she used a phrase in French that I hadn't heard in several years. I was so proud of her, and that's mise en place. And it basically, mise en place is a French term that means all the constituent ingredients already in their proper form. In other words, diced or grated or extract or whatever, and measured out in the quantities you'll need. And that way you can expedite how quickly you can make the recipe, and that's mise en place. And I'll put that down here on the screen someplace because it's just a very cool French term that you may want to impress your friends with one of these days. But it's a term that Beverly I used to use all the time, but apparently has fallen by the wayside as we just flew by the seat of our pants. Anyway, so I've got a little bit of rather regular white flour, some nutmeg. Oh, come on, don't be like that. A little bit of cinnamon. And finally, 2.5 cups of white sugar. That you're going to pour in here is going to scare you to death wondering if it's going to fit, because it's looking really, really, really like it's not. Oh, and now I am scared absolutely to death, but we're going to be very, very careful.
Honey, put a towel over that.
In case you didn't hear that, that was my wife admonishing me to put a towel over this. Not a terrible idea. That's why we have each other. Keep each other from doing anything stupid.
It's starting to blend up.
Yep, we made it. Now, included in that mise en place of getting all the constituent components in their right form and everything is the pie shells. And we whipped up some pie crust earlier and got it put into some cast iron pans. Those of you who have been with us a while know that we like to bake in cast iron. There is no way in God's green earth I'm going to do this without spilling some. I think we all know that at this point. We're all adults here. Right? We know I'm an idiot. No shockers here.
Dip some out with a cup.
How often do you have a cooking show where there's somebody off camera kibitzing? You know, it's new, it's unique. It's going to be the new wave. That's too big. So we'll try something a little more modest and start putting that into our pie shell. I hope we're getting a shot there and we're not worrying so much about whether I'm doing it right that we're not getting a shot.
We're getting a shot.
Oh, good. So I'm dribbling anyway. It doesn't really matter, so. Okay. So, again, we're going to just put that into our pie shell. Now, you can see it looks very much like the ingredients of a custard pie. So I will give that a little bit of breathing room. Oh man, that's beautiful. Now, you're getting ready to jump for the keyboard and go, Paul, why so small? Why didn't you make a regular 9-inch or 10-inch pie? No particular reason. I know that a lot of the videos that I have seen done of bean pie has used a regular 9 or 10-inch pie plate. I'm not used to seeing bean pies for sale in that size. When I do find them, they're smaller. They're like a 6 or 7-inch pie. I don't know why. But it's what I'm used to seeing, certainly in the Baltimore area. And also witnessed by the one that we had with our chitlins here 2.5 years ago. Much smaller than your average pie. Well, we did good. We did really fairly well in terms of getting the right volume of pie crust for our pies. Now, I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and I'm going to bake these for about 50 to 60 minutes. So why is this an American cuisine? Why is this an American dish? Well, bean pie came into existence, as far as I know. Now, if there's some food anthropologist out there that wants to jump down my throat, knock yourself out. Just be polite about it, and you'll be more than welcome here. As far as I know, bean pie came into existence in the mid-20th century. Probably just in the first half, in the late part of the first half of the 20th century. And it came out of the African American Muslim community. And specifically, it's believed that it came out of the Nation of Islam and a gentleman by the name of, well, the nice thing about being only a few feet away from your computer is you can always do a little quick additional research. And the name I was fishing for is Elijah Muhammad, who was a leader in the Nation of Islam. Now, regardless of how you may or may not feel about this particular group or this demographic or whatever, I have to insist that everybody remain polite in the comment stream, all right? I don't have any particular ill will for this group. I have very little knowledge about them other than that they're Muslims. So, and that people like Farrakhan, Muhammad Ali, people like that were the next generation after Elijah Muhammad that accepted these teachings. Again, no ill will, so I don't want to hear about it, folks. If you do, you know, we're going to be nice in this. Everybody's going to be nice to everybody else here. So that is the roots of this this pie, and the hey, let's eat a little healthier. Let's replace the sweet potatoes with some white beans. So I thought that was kind of interesting and worth going ahead and slapping it back in here. But what's important about this is that it was a call to this community to eat more healthy and to not just well, it's not like okay, we're going to do away with everything you had to. It was okay. We're going to replace the more traditional sweet potato pie with a white bean pie. So it's still a sweet. But perhaps a little more protein and a little less carbohydrates, something that's just a little more healthy. And so it became a very popular dish amongst the African American Muslim community. And then from there, I think just spilled over into the African American community as a whole. And that's where you'll find these sorts of dishes is in those communities like downtown Baltimore, where there is a large black population and once we got it at the same, or not the same place, but in the same mall-like place, that we got the chitlins and the hog maw, also traditionally dishes that served by that demographic, by that community. Very, very good, and like I said, I fell in love with it. So it's one of those things that's going to just go ahead and spread and grow as people become familiar with it and go, hey, bean pie tastes pretty good. But certainly something that came directly out of the United States in the mid-20th century. So we don't have a lot of claims to fame in the culinary world, people, so we're gonna take credit for those that we can. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven, toss these in, and I'll show them to you when they're ready to come out. Okay, so it took a little longer than we had anticipated. By keeping it at a constant 350 degrees, it actually ended up taking us about an hour and 40 minutes to cook these three pies, but it's all right. They came out quite nice. I've had them out of the oven a little bit. I've let them cool. This is still quite warm. I think I can pick this up quickly and bring it over to the camera so you can see our nicely done white navy bean pie. And that is still quite warm, but I'm able to hold the handle, so isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to attempt to cut this. I don't know. There's only 4 pieces of pie in the pie, by the way. Don't let anybody tell you that, well, this is how everybody cut it. No, there are 4 pieces of pie in the pie, right? I don't know where people think there are 6 pieces of pie or 8 pieces. There's 4 pieces of pie in the pie. A piece of pie is a quarter of a pie. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Beverly has this neat little probe. I think she got it off the aliens at Roswell for probing the pies. And you basically put it in there, and when nothing sticks to it, they're done. Here's hoping we have sufficient lubrication on the pan. I doubt that we do. Maybe. Well, not quite as neatly as I would have hoped for being on camera. But we'll just leave that in the pan because that looks almost decent. And that, it looks, I don't know, with sunglasses on inside with lighting, it looks almost like pumpkin pie, but it's a custard pie. So now we are going to call in my lovely assistant, aka guinea pig, Beverly, because I have a certain amount of difficulty getting things into my mouth. It's not a pretty sight. So we're going to let my lovely wife go ahead and sample this and tell you how it is.
Okay, here we go.
You're on your own, dear.
It looks delicious.
Now I have to hover over here because the microphone is attached to me.
It looks delicious, so we're gonna find out. Yeah, it's the same consistency as the one that we bought a couple years ago. Mm-hmm.
We do good?
We did great. Only thing is, we should have let it cool just a little bit more.
I'm sorry, dear. Okay, well, just let it cool. I just wanted to get a taste in.
It's delicious. It's very good. It tastes like the one we bought.
Groovy. Thank you.
It has a nice smooth consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little sweet, but not too sweet.
Perfect.
It's delicious.
Good.
We did great.
All right, we'll let it cool so you don't get the inside of your mouth fried.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need the inside of your mouth looking like the inside of my mouth.
No.
Which is blistered due to radiation. So, anyway, folks, that is a good old American-made navy bean pie. And just as good, apparently, as we remembered it from a couple of years ago. Making me drool something terribly. Because it smells very good. So, that's it. Relatively easy to make, as you saw. Basically a custard pie with some beans in it. And since it is so easy to make, and now I know how, this is something that'll probably get put in the rotation on a regular basis, because it is, it's just way easier to cook some beans or to buy some canned beans, as we did, than perhaps it is to go through the gyrations of making a pumpkin pie or a sweet potato pie. So, and better for you because there's a lot more proteins in it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this short episode. Well, not all that bloody short now, is it? This episode on bean pie and its origins and a little bit about it, American cuisine. If you've got questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I love hearing from all of you. I would certainly love to hear from all of you all the time. It truly does make me happy. And I try to get back to every single person that I can. I really do. If you're new here, well, welcome. And please consider clicking subscribe to come along for the adventure, because we've got lots more to show you. And as always, folks, thank you for watching.